Hello everybody and welcome back to Movies with Mia. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Mia Tiffany and here we are watching the greatest classic films throughout history. Today we are continuing the series of films that I've been wanting to watch for a very long time now. We're going to be watching the film The Women. First things first, I'd like to shout out my Golden Oscar patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And if you're interested in exclusive MWM content, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. The Women was released in 1939, directed by George Cukor, because I know I always say his name wrong, so hopefully I'm saying it right this time, George Cukor. Starring Norma Shearer, Joan Crawford, and Rosalind Russell, with other notable performances by Mary Boland, Paulette Goddard, Phyllis Pova, Joan Fontaine, Virginia Weidler, and Lucille Watson. Alrighty guys, it is time to get into this film's historical background. For those of you who want to jump right onto the film reaction, go for it. But for those of you who want to stay, we're going to get right into it. The Women was based on a Broadway play of the same name written by Claire Booth in 1936. The Broadway play was a sensation, so it wasn't long until the play rights were bought for $125,000. In 1938, rumors began spreading that MGM was in the process of creating a screenplay, and also that Norma Shearer and Carole Lombard were in negotiations of being in the film. Now, Shearer had a significant amount of favor with MGM, mainly due to her marriage to the late Irving Thalberg, who was, before his death, head of MGM Studio. After his death in 1936, however, Shearer still had a considerable amount of favor with the studio. So once a contract was written up for her, there was a stipulation saying that she would receive top billing for the project. At this time, director George Cukor had just been released from the film set Gone with the Wind, which allowed him the freedom to explore different projects. Now, Cukor had developed a bit of a reputation as quote-unquote the woman's director. And as a side note, he never really liked that name or that reputation that he sort of, was put upon him. But with the nature of this project, it seemed as though Cukor was the right man for the job because this project would be over 130 speaking roles given to actresses, to women in the industry. Which, also side note, this is the 1930s and that's freaking awesome. Just want to say that. Now, Joan Crawford was eyeballing a role in this film after being deemed box office poison by Hollywood. At this point, she felt that she definitely needed a role that would revive her career. Crawford and Shearer had always kind of been at odds with each other because Shearer would constantly be given the roles that Crawford was going for. Luckily though, each starlet was eyeballing different roles for this project, so there wasn't any cattiness in that aspect of the production process. Unfortunately though, they were not really friendly with each other on screen, so that did cause a little bit of tension between them off camera. At one point, Shearer felt so uncomfortable being around Crawford that she asked Cukor to tell Crawford to go home, which he did. And later, Crawford had to come back and basically apologize to Shearer for making her feel uncomfortable. And Crawford did this obviously begrudgingly because, she's like, why the heck do I have to apologize? But it was just kind of this thing, and they never really warmed up to each other throughout this process. Now, as stated previously, Shearer had received top billing because of the stipulation in her contract, and unsurprisingly, Crawford had also fought and actually won for top billing as well. Now, another brilliant actress on this set, Rosalind Russell, had also felt that her performance deserved top billing. So this became a little bit of a thing backstage. Russell actually would call in sick one day and refused to come onto set until they gave her top billing. So they also had to give her top billing. Now, despite the excitement behind the scenes, The Women was a commercial success for MGM Studios. And it was also deemed one of the best films of the year. Unfortunately, it didn't receive any Oscar nominations, but it was remade a few times over the years, once in 1956, where it was renamed The Opposite Sex, and then again in 2008, starring Meg Ryan and Eva Mendes. But of course, nothing tops the original 1939 The women, according to what people were saying about it. Now, with that being said, this is my first time watching The Women, and I am so excited to watch it. But before we do, y'all know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. All right, everyone, it is time to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's get into The Women. Oh wow, it ran for 666 performances. Very specific number of shows. It's a puppy. Oh, it's two puppies. That has happened to me before. Like when your dog is fighting with another dog, like it's so scary.
Oh, good grief, wouldn't you think women would leave beasts like that at home? Oh, she cries for me, Olive. Just tell her that money's making us have look perfectly beautiful just to play with little lillykins.
Oh, look at these beautiful sets.
I hate to tell you, dear, but your skin makes the Rocky Mountains look like chiffon velvet.
Rest and close your eyes.
All right, all right. But I still say I'm gonna pull a gun on that guy. Just like I did on Judge McClure.
Judge McClure.
Has anybody seen my grandmother? She's Southern.
It's just like a little gymnasium and spa.
God, that old gasoline truck. She's 60, she's a minute. Killing's water. Oh, that old bag. One more permit, you won't have a hair on her head.
She's got plenty on her arms.
There are so many women. Wow. I love it.
Edith, take a good grip on yourself. You're going to die. Stephen Haynes is stepping out on Mary.
What?
Stepping out.
Sylvia, darling, who told you? A manicurist?
Oh my God, the tea, darling. The tea.
Darling, we've got to face her at lunch today.
Won't it be too tragic? Eating her food and knowing all about her husband.
Madam, will you tone her down?
I'm sorry, but all of the cacophony of like chattering, I only help but wonder if this is how men used to see women, or maybe still see women. like we're just chatty Cathys and we just talk.
Any sensational ideas about dessert tonight, Ingrid? Well, you never eat it and he shouldn't. Well, that's why he should be pampered. We're going to be up in Canada there for 2 weeks. I'm going to do the cooking myself so you know what he'll get.
I know. Indigestion.
Oh, how dare you. Indigestion.
Great guns, what are you made up for? The seeing eye?
You must have dashed.
I broke every speed record.
Rosalind Russell is just a moment.
Oh, isn't it divine of Mary and the little girl?
Oh, I wish I could make a little money writing the way you do. If you wrote the way I do, that's just what you'd make.
Oh, I wish I could afford to have a baby.
Devoted to Edith Potter, but she does get me down. I'd die before I'd hurt Edith.
No.
I'd die. She's such a gossiper. I love it. The tea.
Have either of you wondered whether the master of this maison might not be strange?
I haven't. You just can't bear Mary's happiness, can you, Sylvia? Because she's contented to be what she is, a woman.
I want to say I really love how the flow is almost effortless in the way that they deliver their lines. It's like they're doing sort of like a verbal dance, and it's just absolutely perfect.
Oh, you know, somebody ought to shut that manicurist up. A good piece of scandal like that, not a chance. Yes, but is it someone we know?
No, that's what's so awful about it. She sells perfume at Black's Fifth Avenue.
Black? Oh, I know plenty I'd ever breathe about my friend's husband.
Oh, so do I.
God, the quick-witted, fast-paced dialogue of the 1930s. I love it.
How's Stevie?
Oh, not so well lately.
Oh, there's nothing worrying Stevie, is there?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Are you sure it's work, darling, and not a beautiful blonde?
She's like, what? Beautiful blonde. She's just itching.
Oh, Stephen. Yes, I'm nearly packed, but I can unpack again. I'll meet you at the station and we'll... Oh, no, it's just... Ingrid was going to outdo herself for you tonight, that's all.
She's like the sweetest thing. Like, how? Wait a second. I have a question, though. This is 1939. Wouldn't this be taboo as well? Like, the infidelity? Or was it just, like, infidelity when, like, both parties were doing it in, like, say, brief encounter, right? Like, wouldn't this still be considered taboo-ish? I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Stephen can't get away to go to Canada tomorrow.
Sylvia, what did you mean when you said Mary was living in a fool's paradise?
Well, Sylvia, whatever I'm living in, I like it.
How do you like that? You have no idea how it stays on. I get it at Sydney's. You should go, Mary.
She's like, no, don't go to the manicurist, because then the manicurist is going to tell you about your husband.
I telephoned this morning for an appointment.
Who sent you in here?
Oh, Mrs. Fowler.
Oh, Mrs. Fowler. Isn't she a lamb? No, Mrs. Stephen Haynes. Mrs. Fowler feels awfully sorry for her. Crystal Allen.
Crystal Allen?
Yes, you know, the girl who's hooked Mr. Haynes.
Oh my God, she's going to freaking sing like a canary.
Well, this Crystal Allen is a friend of mine. She's really a terrible man-trap. He's behind the perfume counter at Black's. I want some perfume, he says.
May I ask what type of woman for?
That didn't mean a thing. She was going to sell him summer rain outfeature anyway. Since then, they've been inseparable. Practically every evening.
And that's why he freaking canceled Canada, I bet. I would be so mad.
Well, goodbye. I'll tell her you were in, Mrs.
Mrs. Stephen Haynes.
Mrs.
Just stop telling that story.
Sure, I will.
Don't tell anyone that you told it to me.
Oh, I won't. Gee, I promise.
I wish Sylvia would have just told her straight up instead of like going the runaround with her, you know?
What's on your mind, Mother? You sound so excited over the telephone just...
I think I was, my dear. Jungle Fred. I've been to Sydney's this afternoon, too.
Oh no, so now Mom knows. Dang! Beginning to resent this jungle red color.
She's very upset about that story she blurted out to you.
She didn't say it wasn't true, did she?
No.
I knew this sort of thing happened to other people, but I never dreamed it could happen to us.
Like, is anyone safe? No one is safe. Even the happiest of couples, I swear. The next thing is to find this woman who was batting eyelashes at my husband. You know what I'm talking about?
You haven't said anything to Stephen yet, have you?
I haven't even seen him since I...
Then say nothing.
Oh, but Mother!
This story isn't new. It comes to most wives. Stephen's tired of himself, tired of feeling the same things in himself. Time comes when a man has got to feel something new.
That's interesting the way she puts it. Tired of himself, not me.
When we tire of ourselves, we change the way we do our hair or hire a new cook. A man has only one escape from his old self, to see a different self in the mirror of some woman's eyes.
Dang, she really is wise, man.
But Mother!
But mother, good heavens, he doesn't love the girl.
I love him so much.
And he loves you, baby, so take my advice, keep still.
It's just interesting how your perspective changes as you are married for so many years. Personally, I would throw him away like trash, but also I've never been married, so I can't talk, but it is quite interesting to see.
But this is today. Stephen and I are equals.
Fantastic to hear that in the 1930s.
We've always given each other our best, and I won't qualify that relationship now. It's all over, Mother. It's finished.
Mary, you're not to say a word to Stephen until you've thought this out. There's something more for you to think of now besides each other. There's your daughter.
I do believe that she should listen to her mother, though. I'm gonna be honest.
Better think it over, dear, about Bermuda. Your home, little Mary's home. Besides, there's nothing like a good dose of being left alone to make a man appreciate his wife.
Doesn't realize the power that she actually has in this situation. Again, I'm not married, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But at the same time, it might feel like you don't have power, but you actually really have a lot of power.
That's little Crystal.
She looks like a woman who would steal your husband, I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, hello, Stephen. Of course I don't mind your breaking our engagement.
Oh.
I'll have another birthday next year.
We'll have another one next
Look,
week.
so help me, I'm gonna slug you. Stephen, if you could drop by for just a few moments and have a glass of sherry to my health.
She's doing like the Stephen, the breathy. Got him with the breathy.
Say, can you beat him? He almost stood me up for his wife. Might I be of assistance? I'm thinking of changing my perfume. This, for instance.
Is that what you use?
Oh, no, that's much too expensive for me. Pretty girl like you, with all the rich men that float in here. They have other women on their mind. I shouldn't think you'd let that disturb you. Summer Rain. That's the kind Mary Haynes is so keen about.
Haynes. She's like, so, that's what you're here for.
Her husband picked it out for her. Perhaps you sold it to him. Awfully good looking, tall, fair, distinguished. I'm sure you wouldn't overlook him.
God, I love the sort of bitchiness going on underneath. It's kind of fun to watch.
Now you're going to see your grandmother ride a bicycle.
Grandma, you can't ride a bicycle.
Oh, Grandma, you're right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and she fell. Oh, and all the bikes go down. This movie is really exclusively all female cast. Wow. Not a single man in sight.
Weren't you having a good time that day, Mother?
Well, I guess I was getting homesick for you about that time. Till your grandmother broke it up.
Oh, that must have been... So they had probably just came back from Bermuda.
We missed you so while you were gone, Mother. Daddy and I. Finally had to take me to the zoo to cheer me up.
Well, fine compliment to me.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way, Mother.
This kid right here, she's such a good actress.
Stephen has spent every evening with me since I got back.
And are you really happy, dear?
I'm divinely happy.
She's lying.
Now that you're home again, promise me that you'll stay in your own remote little ivory tower.
They won't get a thing out of me.
It's like, don't go telling your friends so they can go gossip more.
It gives me great pleasure to be your cicerone on our adventurous little voyage into fashion land.
Oh my god, are we gonna have a fashion show? Because I love fashion shows. Ooh. Ooh, and it's in color. Oh, fantastic. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. Such a cute outfit, queen, with the freaking little frills on the shoulder. Yes, divine. I wonder why they decided to do this in Technicolor. Just probably to show off the outfits.
You should have it, Mary. You're just what it needs. Come here a minute. Why don't you wear it right? I saw it in Vogue. The cape goes up here and down in the back. Just professional jealousy. They're really very good friends. Oh, yes. She adores the Fowler family, particularly my husband. Oh, Mary, darling, you ought to have it. All right, I'll take that. I could use a few more gowns on the same order.
This piece of work did not just come into my zone with my girls asking for my dress like, girl, you need to leave. You need to go. Oh my God. Worst timing ever.
Will you open it, George?
Yes, please.
May I have the name?
Certainly. Mr. Stephen Haynes, 20 Wall.
That, oh my God.
That will do. Mrs. Haynes is a very good client of ours.
So I'd rather you wouldn't mention to her that I gave her husband as a reference.
That is so scandalous.
We understand.
Oh, it's so dreadful living in a strange city. You have to be so careful not to do anything people might misconstrue.
Misconstrue, you're with her husband.
Oh, Mary, dear, you do know. Why don't you confide in me?
Sylvia, will you please stay out of my affairs?
Please, Sylvia, please, you're just making it worse.
Your hat, Mrs. Haynes. Is that Crystal Allen across the hall?
Yes, she's a new customer.
Mrs. Haynes, are you ill?
No, I think I'm just a little tired.
Oh my God, I could only imagine what she's going through.
Go in there and tell her you'll make Stephen's life an absolute tornado till he gives her up. She's not going to do your child any good. Edith saw them. Stephen and that creature and little Mary lunching in the pool. That Basil was kissing her between every bite.
Okay, look, it's one thing to like play around with my husband. It's another thing to be around my children as if you've just taken my spot. That's a whole different playing field that we're talking about here. And I don't think I'm okay with that. I don't think I could mess with that one.
I am Mrs. Stephen Haynes. I don't think I know you.
Oh, you know me.
I believe it's my husband you know.
So Stephen's told you.
He's never mentioned you. You've been seeing my daughter. That's what I've come in here to tell you.
He seems to be satisfied with this arrangement.
She has the audacity.
What have you got to kick about? You've got everything that matters. You've got the name, the position, the money.
My husband's love happens to mean more to me than those things.
I don't know about the guys in watching this along with me, but the ladies, do you know?
I'd break up your snug little roost if I could. He's the kind that lets that old-fashioned sentiment put the Indian sign on him.
Because its beauty is something you'll never know.
Everyone's listening. She is a better woman than I am, because I would have just started using my hands.
Darling, I've just done the most ghastly thing.
I know what you're going to say. You forgot she's writing a gossip column and you told her something about me.
I told her all about Stephen and Mary.
Oh, that.
When Mary went into the next fitting room, she yanked the ermine coat off the Allen girl.
Oh my God. She did not do that.
I said that Mary could hardly broadcast her domestic affairs and not expect them to wind up in a scandal.
Mary didn't broadcast. You did.
Yeah, she literally like told the whole town. Oh no.
Stephen, we can't go on like this.
They're having a showdown.
Oh, what's happening?
He blames the whole thing on her girlfriend. So she says very quiet, would you like to go back to her, Stephen? Aren't you ever going to trust me again, Mary?
I hope she said no. You can't trust none of them no further than I can kick this lemon pie.
Oh,
God, this movie is so quotable.
She said, can't you see that girl is only interested in you for your money? And he says, please remember we have a child. And that's when she really blew up.
No woman wants to be told she's being kept on just to run a kindergarten.
Like, as if this problem couldn't get any worse.
Stephen, I want a divorce. Well, he said he didn't blame her. How could he? And then he said he was going out, so naturally I got ready to scoot. But I heard her call, don't slam the front door. The servants might hear. Do you think they're really going to break up?
I feel bad for Mrs. Haynes. And part of me kind of wants her just to quick slap to Crystal Allen, but that's just me.
You're both making a terrible mistake. You and Stephen have a child. A child needs both its parents.
It's too late now.
No, it's never too late when you love someone. Did you ever think that Stephen might marry that girl?
He wouldn't do that. Because Stephen really still loves me.
From the perspective of Crystal, like, if he cheated on his wife for you, like, why do you think he won't do it again to someone else?
your husband took the privilege of drawing you a new will. It's to your advantage, not his. This will cuts off Mr. Haynes.
I wish you weren't going. Mary, Mother would like to have a little talk with you before she goes.
I think there are moments that really show sort of like a togetherness that women can have with each other, but there is a lot of the cattiness that kind of overpowers it.
You know, darling, when a man and woman fall in love, what they do, don't you? Sometimes the husband and the wife fall out of love. They get what is called a divorce. Daddy and Mommy are going to get a divorce.
Oh my God, that has got to be such a tough conversation to have with a child.
When you're older, I know you'll understand. And
Ooh, she's really crying. She's really feeling it.
Doesn't Daddy love you anymore?
no, dear, he doesn't.
Don't you love him?
No, Mary.
You're lying. I don't think that they're actually going to get a divorce.
Why don't you do something? Do something, Mother dear. Oh, do something.
Oh, poor thing.
When I think of the things he said to me, my Johnny, just because he couldn't afford a car, I can't have a car. The only protection I have is my own little income. Oh, Mary, if I couldn't have caught this train to be with you, I'd have jumped right in front of it.
Oh my God. Do
That would've been
not.
quite a-
That's terrible.
I'm the Countess de Love. I'm Mrs. Stephen Haynes.
Those crummy newspaper pictures didn't do you half justice. This sweet little thing's getting her first divorce, too.
Miriam Aaron.
I'll bet you picked yours for character. Yes, and where did it get you? On the train for Reno.
On the train for Reno. She does not want to divorce her husband at all.
You've seen a lot of divorces, haven't you, Lucy? Do you feel sorry for us?
Feel pretty sorry enough for yourselves.
We must celebrate Mrs. Haynes' divorce.
Right you are.
So Mrs. Haynes has already had her divorce.
When are you going to open up and tell us your great secret about the man in your life?
I found out that his wife's a friend of our Palsy Wellsy's. Ever hear them speak of Sylvia Fowler?
Yeah, I think so.
It's the dame's husband, Howard Fowler.
Oh, so is she the one that's sleeping with Howard Fowler?
Who the heck is paging L'amour?
Well, why didn't you send us a wire or something?
My lawyer told me to put nothing at all on paper. This is the Countess de Love, Mrs. Howard Fowler.
How do you do?
How do you do? Giving her the up and down?
That Howard Fowler, the man I've trusted my life with, has kicked me out for some filthy weasel.
No, it's like, no, stay.
Who is the woman, Sylvia?
Nobody knows, not even Winchell.
You're literally sitting next to the woman right now, believe it or not.
Hey, you! Wasn't your name Aaron? Miriam Vanity's Aaron's is now being renovated. 3 guesses, Mrs. Fowler, who she's going to marry. I made Howard pay for what he wants. You made him pay for what he doesn't want.
Oh my God, not a cat fight.
I got glasses on. Now you haven't.
Oh no. Oh God, she got her by her hair. She's gonna bite her. Oh my God. Nothing says all female cast like a freaking cat fight, right?
Someday you'll need a girlfriend, and then you'll think of your treachery to me.
Let's go, Rosalind. I bet she had so much fun with that scene.
Oh, Mary, I'm going to have a baby.
Oh, darling. Oh, don't cry.
Right after you divorced your husband? Oh, she hasn't divorced him yet.
Mr. Day, please. Reno calling.
Oh, Johnny? Well, I'm all right, but
I'm pregnant.
Johnny, I'm going to have a baby. Yes, lamb, on the very next train. Goodbye, precious.
Goodbye, precious. She's like, I am back on the train to New York, baby.
When are you going to get wise to yourself?
Why, I was divorced this morning, Miriam.
Oh, a Reno divorce.
He doesn't want me. I've waited every day to hear from him.
How do you know he hasn't been waiting, too?
We dames have got to be a lot more to the guy we marry than a schoolgirl, sweetheart. You should have licked that girl where she licked you, in his arms. That's where you win in the first round.
She has some good, she's speaking some truth there.
It's Mr. Haynes.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice. Went through on schedule this morning, but Stephen, I understand the position you're in. I hope you'll both be very happy.
Oh my God, he's marrying her! After that entire pep talk.
But Madame has been so keen when allow her. Monsieur suggests that you'd walk little Mary to her mother's apartment. No, I'm so bored.
Hello, you. No, I'm in the tub.
Dang, she's cheating. Suddenly, I don't feel so bad. The way that Jane treated her and freaking whatever happened to baby Jane, okay? I'm just saying.
I'll say we had fun. I'll call you back. Who told you to come in here?
Daddy, I want to say goodnight.
Hand me that sponge there, will you?
You think Stephen married her just to prove a point? Or did he actually marry her, like, for love?
My, you're in a hurry to tell Daddy about it, aren't you?
I don't understand grown-ups on the telephone. They all sound silly.
You sit down. We're going to have this out once and for all. You don't like me. Why?
Because you're a vapid biatch, maybe?
Listen, Crystal, I've been very polite considering you're something awful. My mother told me I wasn't to be rude to you.
You're cruel and disgusting. Tell my dad, I don't care.
You see, you wouldn't know about such things, but my daddy's a gentleman. He never talks against any woman, not even you.
I'll bet you've done plenty of blabbing to your mother.
It's my job to try and make Mother feel cheerful.
Kind of reminds me of that movie, like the story that her adopted daughter, like told about her, like after, you know, the fact that like she abused her adopted daughter. I don't know if that is allegations or if that really was proven to be true, but it kind of gives me that vibe, you know?
Oh, I just saw poor Stephen. Dr. Sylvester says Stephen has a guilt complex. Dr. Sylvester says that's why Stephen married you. Isn't that a laugh?
I do love the fact, though, that Joan Crawford is doing this entire scene in a bathtub. It's actually kind of genius.
Porter is on the phone for you, Mrs. Fowler. No, I'll take it in here. But it's on the other phone, madame. Stephen does so much business on the other phone, I had to get one of my own. You sly little fox, you. Don't you dare touch that telephone. Hello. Phone.
Oh.
You haven't got a thing on me, Sylvia. Now, if you hang on to Stephen, we'll both be happy.
Oh, she's not friends with Mary anymore?
Oh, what a lovely party.
You remember the way Buck was always crooning love songs in my ear? He stays away from home most of the time and comes back smelling of some strange perfume. Good night, Mary, dear.
Good night, Flora. Since you're not going, if you had, you'd have run right smack into Stephen and Crystal and Sylvia.
Geez, the amount of, like, couple changes and sleeping and cheating. It's crazy.
You know, you're a very sympathetic mother. Tonight, Daddy told me a lie. He did it for an honorable reason. Walking home tonight, Daddy told me he was going up to Canada. If he'd only just tell me he's going up there because he simply can't bear her another day.
How is it that the child has more knowledge and wisdom than the two freaking parents, bro?
Crystal happy, do you think?
She's got somebody she talks to pretty lovey-dovey on the phone. Are you gonna get dressed, Mother?
Yes, Mary. Did I tell you I'm going to Dr. Sylvester? He tells me the pleasure's all his. You've never been to Dr. Sylvester in your life. It's all over town what a fool you're making of yourself. You're paying him $100 an hour just to hold your hand.
Where do you get your information?
Where do you suppose? From Crystal.
Oh, she's putting him against... She's trying to get information out of her, so she's giving information.
Dr. Sylvester had to grow a beard so you can't see him laughing at you. She's got Buck Winston. Why can't you tell about him? Go out there and dig up Buck Winston. Ask him what famous society matron is crazy about him. Oh, boy! Say, do you got any place we can lock her up? In the closet. How superb! Buck Winston just spilled the most terrific load of dirt. He confessed an undying love for little Crystal. Hey, you!
Here we go. Let the games begin.
You're trying to break up my marriage, you cat. You can't stampede me by gossip, and you've got to have evidence. Stephen's fed up with you, Crystal, in your heart, you know it. Well, what if I don't need alimony?
What are you going to use instead of it, sugar?
Buck Winston. Oh! Great.
Cheer up, Flora. This is a new kind of lesson in amour. See to it that your next husband doesn't become financially independent.
Buck isn't independent.
She's like, what? Yep, Buck is dirt poor.
Looks like it's back to the perfume counter for me. Mary, Stephen's outside. He's waiting for you.
That was so good. What a fantastic, it was such a cute little movie that really showcased a lot of wild and amazing performances from these women. I really wanted to talk about Rosalind Russell first because she's the one who I just loved watching. I love watching Rosalind Russell act because she's so confident and so sure of herself, you know? And watching her play roles is just like such a treat. I'm so happy we get to see it all these decades later. She's just a gift to the silver screen, and she just does it so effortlessly, and her humor is just like, it's like she doesn't even have to try, you know? I aspire to be Rosalind Russell when I grow up. I really loved Norma Shearer. She brought such a class to the film, you know? She was very classy, very elegant, but you also notice that she was a woman who was really struggling through the fact that her husband has cheated on her, and everyone in society now knows it. And so she's trying to navigate that, but she still keeps her sort of poise and elegance. She never allows herself to stoop so low. Even when she's like trying to grab the gossip from the girls to get her man back, it's still done with grace. And also the scenes where you really see her grieve for her relationship with Stephen, I feel like that really comes out of her. You really see her experiencing that emotion, and I think she did fantastic. Joan Crawford was so easy to hate. There was nothing about her character that was like salvageable. Like, I did not like her at all, but I think she actually mastered that. This is the only other movie I've seen her in apart from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, so I definitely want to get more of her acting ability. But it takes a really strong actor to play a character that nobody likes, because you know that you're not going to get the sympathy from the audience, so you really have to commit to the actions, to the motivations of your character, and I think she really did a good job of that. And she was completely shameless. Like, I just literally wanted to slap her the entire movie. I'm surprised that nobody did. It was fantastic to see those three ladies, and then the rest of the cast was just absolutely amazing to watch. You know, it's amazing how this cast is exclusively female. It's all women cast, and it was such an entertaining film. You don't see this often, you know? And I think it was so quick-witted, quick-paced, witty. It was a fantastic film to watch. I think that it was executed beautifully. It could have gone in so many different directions. Yes, there were still sort of like the female stereotypes of the cattiness and the gossiping, but like I said, there was still a lot of female empowerment and friendships, you know, like you saw these women all in Reno, all getting divorces for different reasons, but they still came together in friendship and they built each other up, especially that scene when Miriam was giving Mary a pep talk, like, this is what it takes to be a wife. You know, we all have our moments, but at the end of the day, this is what it takes. And giving her a pep talk and being like, talk to him, you know, maybe tell him how you're feeling and all of this stuff. And I think that that also shows the beauty of friendships between women. Women are very empowering and we can build each other up, you know, as opposed to sometimes in society, we're told that, you know, we're supposed to be in competition, not told, but it's like an unofficial thing where like women are supposed to be in competition vying for the affection and attention of a man, which is not always the case anymore, you know? So I really loved how these women worked together. I think the personalities blended so well. And then I wanted to mention, I think the tension backstage between Shearer and Crawford really did give an edge to their characters on screen. You felt the tension between them and it felt icky, but it worked for the film. And then of course, obviously this is the 1930s, so of course you had the grandiose set pieces and set designs, and then the costumes were absolutely stunning, both in Technicolor, which was a fantastic sequence, and also in black and white, which the silver screen is always a beautiful place to let, especially those shimmery dresses, just shine. I appreciated the costumes, the acting was superb, the dialogue was so fun, and it had such a beautiful flow to it. It was just so much fun to watch. I really enjoyed it, guys. Thank you so much for watching it with me. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to become an official MWMer, then please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to stay in the loop. If you would like to see this film's full reaction, you will find it on my Patreon. Patreon is also where I hold my MWM live watch parties, where we come together and we watch one classic film live via Zoom. If that sounds of any interest to you, then please check out that Patreon link, which is in the description box below. In the next video, we are going to be continuing the series of me wanting to watch films that I have been waiting to watch for a very long time. And we are going to be watching the film The Red Shoes. Guys, I have heard so many things in the comments about The Red Shoes. I've seen stills of this film and the stills look absolutely stunning in Technicolor, so I cannot wait to watch The Red Shoes. If you have not seen The Red Shoes, please watch it before watching the reaction, because I do not show all of the movie, as some people in the comments have wanted to continuously tell me. This is a reaction video, so go and watch the full film first, then watch the reaction video with me. And I have provided links of where I bought my physical copy, as well as where you can stream it online in the description box. If you have a recommendation of any classic Hollywood film, the best way to reach out to me is on social media, on Facebook and X @MoviesWithMia, and on Instagram and TikTok @MoviesWithMia_. And while you're online, why not consider checking out my LetterBoxd account, where I have a documentation of all of the films we have seen on the channel. It is under the handle @MammaMiaTiffany. And yes, that is also in the description box. And yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, thank you. I really appreciate you watching this outro fully. It makes me very happy. Thank you so much. I hope that all of you please stay safe this summer. It is a very hot summer. Make sure you wear your sunscreen. Make sure you stay hydrated. Like, y'all, let's make it to the end of the year, okay? Please stay safe and healthy out there, guys, and I'll see you, boo, in the next video. Bye, everyone. We're on to the second movie. I feel like my nostrils were so flared. I'm like, oh, I thought Bette Davis was in this film. Was she not? Wait. I swear I did the research on this and I could have sworn she was in this film. Okay, Bette Davis is not in this film. That's so weird. How did I not notice that when I was doing the research? That is so weird. Okay. Virginia Wilder. Okay, it's Weidler. All right, we'll do it again, one more time. She would absolutely have top billing for this project. I said billing. top billing. There was a stipulation that she would in fact have top billing. I said billing again. It's billing. Mia. But with the nature of this project, it would seem that Kikor was in fact, I'm stumbling over my words because my brain is working faster than what I can say. Now, Crawford and Shearher. I put an H there somewhere. There's no H. There's only one H, and somehow I got 2 in there. Jeez. Last time, I'm gonna get this, I promise. This shirt is giving me life. This entire outfit is just a moment. It's so good, I had to wear it across 2 videos. Like, that's how freaking snatch I feel today. I'm so happy, I'm sorry. I just had to do a little happy dance. I love when my curls bounce. Happy dance, I'm doing my happy dance. Bye.